maker has undertaken a software fix. The Dow's up 20 points. This is CBS News.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? I'm Jim O'Connor, independent life insurance agent specializing in term life insurance. There's been a price war between the major life insurance companies. If you've had your term life policy more than 2 years, you may be paying too much. For example, a male age 45, non-tobacco user issue preferred best, $1 million of coverage is only $56 a month guaranteed level for 10 years. Or a male age 50, non-tobacco user issue preferred best, $500,000 of coverage is only $91 a month guaranteed level for 20 years. The life insurance industry is going through exciting changes. Make sure you're not paying too much for your term insurance. For new or replacement term life insurance, call for a free quote. 800-799-0903. That's 800-799-0903. Don't pay too much for your term insurance. Call 800-799-0903 or visit my website at term22.com. That's term22.com. Rates based on standard underwriting and may vary by state.
Facebook says its hottest topic this year was the presidential campaign, outpacing terror attacks and disasters. Time magazine says its person of the year is German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Quite a story of survival from California. CBS's Frank Settapani.
A man with no home crawled into a trash bin behind a Fremont, California restaurant and went to sleep. Trash haulers came along, dumped the bin into their truck, and hit the compacting button. They picked up more trash at another restaurant and compacted the load a second time. Just before the next stop, the man climbed out. A police spokeswoman says he's lucky to be alive and apparently without any serious injuries. Frank Settapani, CBS News.
A homeless man in Aspen, Colorado, scrounged up the money for a lottery ticket and won more than $300,000 after taxes. He says he plans to use the money to track down his long-lost daughter. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Lay your burdens down at the Woodhouse. Leave all your worries at the door. Just take some time. We're transforming lives.
Happy holidays
At the Woodhouse.
from the Woodhouse Day Spa. Holiday gift cards available at chattanooga.woodhousespas.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, and myself for all the action.
News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is The Herd. The Herd. With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
Best show on radio.
This is The Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. The Herd with Colin Cowherd starts now.
This is The Herd, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. We are now live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Christine Leahy is always joining me.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Did you go to David Spade last night?
I did go to David Spade.
Was he funny? Of course he was.
Of course he was funny.
He's hysterical.
Yes, he was funny. Kevin Farley was there. He was funny. It was a good time.
So where was it at last night?
It was at the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
It was really good. It was kind of like a secret performance, actually, because their names weren't on the outside. So I felt like this was a big deal.
So David Spade, I don't know any famous people, but he did text me yesterday. He's like, hey, buddy, I'm going to be performing Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be bombing at both places. Stop on by. That's what he
probably did. His emails are hysterical.
Yeah, he's very, very funny.
But a couple people asked where you were last night.
I'm going to go next Thursday.
Okay. Where's he performing next Thursday?
I think it's the same
Comedy
place, maybe.
Store?
I'll go read my text, but I'm going to do it on Thursday.
Okay, good.
Let me start with this. The Warriors won last night. They're 23-0. The Warriors, we're just waiting now for them to lose, and they are going to lose Friday. They are going to lose to the Boston Celtics, and in honor of the Celtics and the Boston Haba in the back bay, some Boston music, please. Here's the 5 reasons why the Warriors will lose Friday to Boston, and the streak will be over. Number 1, Klay Thompson sprained his ankle. Boston, number 2, is the real deal. They hit threes a lot, and they have the 3rd or 4th best point differential in the NBA. Number 3, it's a Friday night NBA game, a decided home court advantage. Number 4, game 6 of 7, East Coast roadie for the Warriors, a little worn out. And number 5, Brad Stevens, best young head coach in the NBA. In the biggest game of the year, I like the Boston Celtics to end that streak. But can I tell you something? I'm not as infatuated by the Warriors as everybody else. I mean, Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, they're fun. I'm not going to deny that. They're great. But I like the struggle. I like conflict. That's what they look for in movies. We work in Hollywood, right? That Rocky thing, the Star Wars thing, you do realize there's conflict all throughout those movies. The good guy almost always wins. I wouldn't mind the Warriors winning 7 straight titles. But I like conflict. LeBron leaving Cleveland was good for the league. Leaving Miami, going back to Cleveland, not as interesting. Everybody's happy now. The Warriors now go on 22-0 runs. The game is so finesse, it seems effortless. Can you imagine in the 90s going on a 22-0 run? I can't. First of all, if it was the Knicks, they'd break your clavicle. And they'd wrestle you. And you'd need 11 baskets straight, not just now potentially 7 and a free throw. Sometimes I don't give my kids things because I want it to feel special. I give them Disneyland once a year, not 4 times. We don't do ice cream for breakfast. We do it once a week at night. There's got to be something special about ice cream. The Warriors shoot 31 threes a night, and they're the best ever at it. They've solved the Rubik's Cube. Remember when we used to be kind of fascinated? Oh, the Rubik's Cube. Then kids figured it out in like 14 seconds, and nobody bought the Rubik's Cube. It wasn't interesting. It's like we've solved the three-point line in the NBA. The Warriors are the best ever at it. They're unbelievable. They'll go 82-0, and for this year, it will be fascinating. But I have to wonder if Adam Silver doesn't think it's too easy. They're too good at it. There's a competitive imbalance. I know everybody loves the UConn women's basketball story, and you can never criticize women's sports, but it's boring. They never lose. I like conflict. I like drama. I like the last 7 minutes of Iowa-Michigan State. I didn't enjoy Alabama thumping Florida. I like competition. I like drama. I like it in my movies. I like it in my shows. I even like it in my life. I think sometimes the chaos in my life is good for the show. I think people, I've said this before in comedy. Everybody takes turn being the funniest person in the world. First it's Jim Carrey, and then it's Will Ferrell, and then for a while it's Jon Stewart, and but then they get their 3rd Lexus and their 4th vacation home, and they're not as funny because there's no conflict. Funny is too many kids in a small house in Yonkers and staying married. That's hysterical. Getting a divorce in La Jolla and marrying the pretty secretary is obnoxious. It's 77 every day. Having to use a snowplow in March is kind of funny, and it makes you appreciate the spring and the fall. When I watch the Warriors, I know they're unbelievable. I know they've mastered the 3. But now 19 of 30 teams average 100 points in the NBA. There's no in and out basketball. It's just outside of the arc all the time. It's no longer special. It's going to Disneyland or eating ice cream every morning. And I don't necessarily love the NBA I'm watching right now. The Warriors are the best at it, but I don't think it's as intriguing, to be honest with you, when the game even 5-7 years ago was at least a little more physical, and some teams had an interior game. Executives now won't even draft players with good mid-range jumpers. They're bad players. You do get Michael Jordan's the best ever at that. now he wouldn't fit. I don't love the Warriors act. I like the team. I like the record. It's sort of fascinating, but I want Boston to beat them on Friday to create drama and conflict because I think all sports is better with it. Good to have you in today. I saw something that I can't necessarily explain, and maybe you can explain it for me because, I got into this. I saw this story. We all know, and there's some really good teams in sports, and there's some really lousy teams in sports. And so right now, the Philadelphia 76ers tickets, because the team is 1-21, the tickets, Christine, are so cheap that beer, an individual beer in Philadelphia costs more than a ticket to a Sixers game. It's funny, right? And I was thinking about this. I'm going to bring something up. It's like one of these social science things that's always been fascinating to me. Movie candy and ballpark beer are like 1,700% profit margin. Think about this. When you watch a movie at home, you have never once said in your life, God, if I don't have Sour Patch Kids, I'm turning this thing off. Man, I need candy. But you'll go to a theater and spend $16 for a Kit Kat and feel great about it. You ever notice that? You ever noticed scientists agree on climate change. They don't agree on what's in a hot dog. I've eaten 2-foot-long hot dogs in a single night at a baseball game. You ever gone and bought nachos at a sporting event? It's amazing what we'll do at theaters and sporting events. You ever gone and see nachos, old chips, and liquid cheese? Folks, that's bathroom sealant. Okay? Cheese is shredded or sliced. If it's pumped, it ain't cheese. If that was served in any restaurant, you would call the local health department. You'll pay $16 for those nachos at an NBA game. You ever had a kid knock on your door? Hey, mister. He limps up there. Would you give me $2 for a candy bar for my school? Quit hustling me, kid. Clang. I'll buy a Snickers for $14 at a movie theater. Can somebody explain why when we go to games and we go to theaters, we will spend outrageous prices on awful standards of food? In fact, if I ran, do we have any music? I'm going to run for president, and my entire platform is higher standards for Americans on food choices at theaters and arenas. If you were in New York, like New York's an expensive city, and you went into Dwayne Reed or whoever serves.
Dwayne Reed.
Yeah. And you bought like a 6-pack for $14. Be like, whoa, it's expensive. You go to a Knicks game, pay $12, give the guy a $20 and say, keep the change. Everybody gets rich at a ballpark. You just throw money away for awful food and drinks. And I can't figure it out, and I want an answer for it.
Your platforms for presidency change frequently, first of all. It's part of the experience about being at a game. You're just having a good time. You want to have a beer.
I don't understand it.
Takes.
All right, so I'm going to get I've got some points today, actually, that I'm going to get to, and I feel incredibly strongly about. It's not that I'm rooting against the Warriors. What I'm saying is I'm numb to the three-point shot now. They've mastered it. They figured out the Rubik's Cube. I don't find it that interesting to come down and hoist threes 36 times a game. I don't find it that eye-pleasing. And not that I need the Knicks and the Pacers in 1984 arm wrestling, Jeff Van Gundy under a huddle fighting players and biting their legs. I don't need that. But I'd like a little more interior defense, more pushing, more pulling, more mid-range, more drama. Winning by 16 tonight's not that interesting. It's not to me. Phone number is 877-757-HERD. So I'll talk about another danger, what is happening in professional basketball. But first, golfers, I have a question. How many yards are you leaving on the tee box? Callaway Golf tested over 80 non-pros. Guess what? Research shows golfers on average, non-pros, lose an average of about 20, 25 yards due to poor launch conditions. Well, that's where the great Big Bertha from Callaway has returned. Okay? Between the speed and the forgiveness, you get distance. And until Great Big Bertha is fit to your swing, you won't know how many yards you're leaving in the tee box. Great Big Bertha. Go to CallawayGolf.com/leave no yard behind. Follow them, Callaway Golf on Twitter. In Los Angeles, this is The Herd.
America was built by people with a few dollars and a dream. And while many don't know it, there's one path to success that still only requires a dream and about $10. That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right, only $9.99. Just go to Vistaprint.com and enter promo code 2000 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 2000.
UFC interim featherweight champion Conor McGregor will battle with reigning champion Jose Aldo as EA Sports UFC 2 presents UFC 194 Aldo versus McGregor.
One king gets old, then a young gorilla comes up and kills him and takes everything he owns.
Plus, Chris Weidman looks to continue his reign as middleweight champion by toppling Luke Rockhold. UFC 194 live this Saturday. Only on pay-per-view. Card subject to change. Visit UFC.com for details.
Okay, here we go, people.
This is The Herd.
Where are you again?
With Colin Cowherd.
It's a one-dimensional offense. That quarterback's not going to get drafted. I mean, I don't even get it. Even Paul Feinbaum, noted SEC guy, he admitted this weekend, I watched the ESPN, admitted Big Ten's better this year. He admitted it. By the way, he had Phyllis on the show from Mulga, Alabama, who always rips me whenever she's on with Paul.
Colin, you don't know what is going on in football like you think you know it. Alabama has scraped, they have crumbled, they have crawled, and they have pulled themselves up to be in the dynasty that they're in, Cowherd. Kiss my butt.
So she is quite a special lady and does not like me this morning, so that is okay.
Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Don't be a victim. Arm yourself today at Carter Shooting Supply and Indoor Range, offering the finest selection of personal firearms and ammo, especially the hard-to-find ammunition. You know the police can't protect you. They show up after the crime is committed. The ability to protect yourself, your family, and when called upon your nation is enshrined in the United States Constitution. Shop the largest selection of shooting supplies on their online store. CarterShootingSupply.com. Carter Shooting Supply and Indoor Range. The largest and cheapest selection in Chattanooga. 6210 Highway 58, Harrison. Call 344-1099. That's 344-1099. Keep your family safe this Christmas by buying them a certificate for Carter Shooting Supply Tennessee Handgun Permit Class. And stop by today to consult one of their qualified experts. They'll fit you perfectly to the firearm that meets your needs. Call 344-1099. You'll always find the widest selection of new and used firearms at Carter Shooting Supply and Indoor Range. 6210 Highway 58, Harrison. Call 344-1099.
Do I sound like a guy who loves to eat? Yeah. You too? Guess what? I cook the meanest hamburger in Hickson at my little restaurant, Armando's at Chester Cross Park. That's it. Right by the entrance, Chester Cross Park on Hickson Pike. I'd like you to come by and let me cook you dinner too. Bring your family, kids, friends. Lunch for common folk, just not the common lunch. Yeah, we're perfect for lunch. And dinner too. Meat guy? Yeah. Potatoes? Yeah. Catfish, BLTs, pecan pie, hot cup of coffee or ice cold sweet tea. Armando's. That's us. Go on by 11 to 9, Monday through Saturday, right outside the entrance, Chester Cross Park, across from Thrasher.
I love my Flex loan from Advance Financial. I needed cash, I needed it fast, and I didn't want to get a payday loan. My Flex loan from Advance Financial is not a payday loan. It's a line of credit. I only pay for the cash I need, and I only pay for the time that I need it. There's no lump sum payment. My Advance Financial Flex loan is an open line of credit, and I can get cash anytime I need it.
Visit one of our 24/7 locations and get the cash you need today. Advance Financial. Welcome.
Lay your burdens down at the wood. Leave all your worries at the door. Just take some time. We're transforming life.
Happy holidays at the Wood. From the Woodhouse Day Spa. Holiday gift cards available at chattanooga.woodhousespas.com.
A view like no other awaits you for lunch or dinner at Ari's in Sunny Daisy. Ari's Harbor Light is the restaurant over the glittering waters of Lake Chickamauga there at the marina. It serves you a quiet dinner for two, a solitary glass after a day of toil, a delicious family feast, pleasing even the pickiest 8-year-old niece here for the holidays. Come today. Ari's Harbor Lights restaurant lays a generous smorgasbord of seafood, Greek specialties, Italian pasta. Try Ari's at 11 for lunch. Ari's, 9700 Hickson Pike, Sunny Daisy, 843-2800. Open Tuesday through Sunday. A great place for a holiday party. Happy hour, 3 to 7. Ari's.
I'm the type of guy that likes a big breakfast, a couple of eggs, bacon, and some gravy and biscuits. I get that at Wimpy's. I know they have specials at lunch every day. That includes a big meat and 3 menu. At night, I want some good comfort food. Maybe some smoked brisket, pulled barbecue, or ribs. They've got that too. Wimpy's the type of place where you can go in and have a good conversation, catch up what's going on in Sunny Daisy, and have some great food. That's why I go to Wimpy's. You know where it's at, on Dayton Boulevard, right across from City Hall. That's Wimpy's. Give them a call, 423-332-6201. Did you hear me? It's 332-6201. Wimpy's. They're even on Facebook at Wimpy's. I know your mouth is watering just like mine, so let's go to Wimpy's.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
What's happening with the 3-ball now is less athletic guy, and I'm not saying Curry, he's terrific. But there's a lot of guys in this league whose careers now are being made that don't have any other skill than lofting a 3. And I mean, I'll give you an example of where I think it hurts basketball. Luke Walton has never been a head coach. What is his record now? I mean, if Luke Walton has never been a coach, steps in and has never lost a game, and I like Luke Walton, he's not Rick Carlisle today. He's not Red Auerbach. He's not Bill Belichick. He's a good kid, and maybe he's a good coach. He's not the all-time best coach, and he's going to be record-wise in a week. Don't you think it's been deemed a little bit? I mean, seriously, if I could walk into a job that I knew, but I could walk into it and be the best ever overnight, you think maybe there's some schematic advantage for me? A little?
First of all, he has 0 wins because he's not getting.
You know the point.
I do get the point. You don't think that Steve Kerr is telling him everything?
It doesn't matter. You can tell people stuff, but Belichick on the sideline is on the sideline.
But I think that basketball isn't so much in-game
Somebody
anymore.
can tell you how to do your job. Oh, but she's not here today. But she told her Phil exactly.
It's different. I think it's different because the philosophy and the strategies and plays, and that's all coming from behind the scenes. You're talking about in-game.
If what you're saying is true, then Belichick for the rest of his life could just call coaches and say, here's how to coach.
It's different than basketball.
I think, listen, it used to be in this country that we celebrated. We wrote novels about Eisenhower and Patton and Schwarzkopf and generals and leading. Now you push a button and you can live tweet your airstrike.
I believe that war is also different than basketball.
Obviously, but my point being is that what has happened to our military is it has lost some of the great leaders. Who are our generals now? Do you know them? We used to write books and novels and movies about Patton and these incredible speech. Do we have the Patton speech? This is what military used to be, led by men. Now it's led by drones and satellites, and it's less. To me, it just feels less authentic. I mean, this is General Patton years ago.
I don't want to get any messages saying that we are holding our position. We're not holding anything. Let the Hun do that. We are advancing constantly, and we're not interested in holding on to anything except the enemy. We're going to hold on to him by the nose, and we're going to kick him in the ass. We're going to kick the hell out of him all the time, and we're going to go through him like crap through a goose.
There's something about that I like. Now you live tweet your airstrike in a room in D.C. It's not the same. I want struggle. I want strife. I want the Warriors to go into Boston and the rules allow. Steph Curry gets knocked to the floor. and gets up hobbling and then comes back. And if he wins the game on a 2 and a leaner, now it's like it's ice cream for breakfast. 3. You go to the YMCA. You know what's awesome at the YMCA? If it would happen, a guy dunking in your face. The place would go, pow! Guys hit threes at the Y all day. Nobody cheers. There's nothing special about a 26-footer. You go to the gym, you go to the Y, and you see a guy like once a month, a guy will jam on another guy at the Y. The freaking Y explodes. It's contact. It's physical. It's drama. Three-pointer, bang. I can hit a three-pointer. I can't dunk at the 10. I can't go to the rim. I can't jump over you. Michael Jordan's greatest baskets. Switching hands, tongue is out, jamming on Ewing, banging on. Those are unbelievable moments. Those top 10 Jordan plays all the time. You can watch over. Steph Curry, they all look the same. Every play's done looks the same. Dribble, shoot three, dribble, shoot three, dribble. Go look at Michael Jordan's top 10 moments YouTube today. You will get goosebumps. Steph Curry, 90% of his baskets look the exact same. Nobody's guarding him, 27 feet 3, walk down the floor. I'm not moved by it. I'm not. I'm supposed to be, but I'm not. Janelle in Vegas, you're in the herd. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to say that I think maybe Steve Kerr should be given some credit for what he's done with the team. I went to school with him, and he was constantly, every single night, outside in the court, practicing hundreds and hundreds.
Oh,
of
yeah, he's
nights.
always been a grinder. He's an amazing. I know. Well, I've known him for years. He's amazing. His daughter's a great athlete.
Yeah, we were friends. I went to school with him. I used to close up the baskets at U of A, and so I'd have to wait for him every night. And I think that maybe he should be commended instead of saying that the three-pointers that he has obviously made a priority for his team.
Yeah.
Maybe the other teams need to step up instead of saying that what his team's doing is boring. Maybe they need to rise to the occasion.
Remember, leagues, Janelle, are only allowed to do what the legislators and the commissioners allow. Like, I find American League Baseball and National League Baseball, I mean, let's be honest about the DH. Ned Yost is dominating the American League. Is he a great manager? Really? Many think he's the worst in the sport. But they've got the DH and a good pitching coach. What do? Double switch? Not a term ever used. The reality is, in the American League, you go by a free agent slugger, and if you have a good pitching coach, you may not make a decision until the 7th inning. I mean, I don't know. It's not that I'm anti-Warriors, but I think it would be more fun to watch them pushed around a little. I think the NBA, and I love the NBA, but it's getting very finesse, and I don't love all the finesse stuff is what I'm saying. Christine with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, this could potentially help your theory that the Warriors could lose to the Celtics on Friday because Klay Thompson sprained his right ankle last night in their game against the Pacers. So he says it's going to be sore for a couple of days, but he hopes that he can play on Friday in Boston. Could still obviously be a factor, though, even if he does play.
Harrison Barnes is hurt a little, too, isn't he? Yeah, banged up. Yeah, he's so.
They're so young, though, that they just recover really fast.
There's no question in the NBA, the younger rosters, guys. Steve Nash always told me that when you go knee to knee and you're a rookie, you miss a half. You go knee to knee when you're 32, you go on the IR. Like you're out for 3 weeks.
I feel like what's going to happen here, though, is they're all going to play because they've heard you just saying how much you want them to lose and play better, more entertaining basketball. And so they're all going to play on Friday. And then they're going to kill the Celtics, as much as I hate to say that.
Let's be honest about it. Evander Holyfield Tyson was a great fight.
Okay.
But when somebody finally kicked Tyson's butt.
I think you're the only person rooting against the Warriors right now. They're so fun to watch.
To me, it's boring. Okay, let me give you an example. Rousey and Holly Holm fight again. It will be the biggest pay-per-view in the history of UFC. Why? Because the dominant team lost.
Okay.
Figured out Hollywood's all drama. Every movie, it's like, okay, where's the conflict? There's no conflict with the three. There's no conflict. Every Steph Curry basket, there's like 3 great ones. The rest of them look the same. And he's obviously a remarkable talent.
So I would actually argue, I know you want them to lose to the Celtics, but if they win out until Christmas, on Christmas Day, the Warriors play the Cavs. And if they beat the Cavs on that day, they'll set the new record for longest win streak in
I
basketball
hope the
history.
Cavs are
Wouldn't you
physical.
rather that happen than the Celtics?
If they set a record, it's great. I'm happy for them. But then start losing and get physical. The NBA has got to get somewhat more physical. It's way, way too finesse.
That's because you like the days of, like you said, Michael Jordan.
No, I don't. I didn't love the Knicks Pacers. I didn't. I'm not one of these people that glamorize it. I still like offensive guys to be able to get loose and get their 22. But the game now, you can't touch anybody. Every point guard can get to the rack. That's why they're all getting hurt, by the way, because they're getting forwards running over them at the 10.
Well, speaking of Holly Holm, her manager just came out and said that he would like Holly Holm to fight Miesha Tate before she fights Ronda Rousey again. Some people were saying they were going to maybe wait, but she apparently likes to stay active and keep fighting. And Miesha Tate was upset that she was passed over for her to fight Ronda Rousey. She's lost twice to Ronda Rousey as well.
Boxing used to always, before the big fights, have a bunch of setup fights, tomato cans, which are just a ripoff for fans. It'd be interesting if Holly, here's the thing. They don't want Holly Holm to lose before Rousey because they want her to seem invincible, which I totally get as a marketing company.
So you're calling this like a gimme?
No, I'm saying is I wouldn't have her fight her. Listen,
You wouldn't have her fight
if I'm
Miesha
Frank
Tate or Ronda
Fertitta that
Rousey?
owns the company.
Okay,
he's the guy that owns the company. I want Holly Holm to win 4 more times before she faces Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
That is better. That's Ali Frazier too. I don't want them losing in between the fights.
Sure.
I want to build it up so it's like, these are the 2 greatest fighters history of the sport. So I would give Holly Holm like a ridiculous warm-up fight. Like fight like a local
Miesha Tate's a big deal.
pianist or something. I just want it to be over. Just make
Did
it
you
really
say fight a pianist?
Yeah, like somebody at a local library. Just make it incredibly easy. I'm quick today. I'm going 1,000 miles an hour.
I'm trying to follow that.
I know, it's
a little hard.
I know it is.
Okay, so the Red Sox, they were considering a trade for Aroldis Chapman. This is just coming out. But apparently they pulled out of talks after they heard about the alleged domestic
The Dodgers
dispute. No, this is the Red Sox.
Okay.
The Dodgers are still apparently thinking about it.
Sure.
They want to see how the investigation goes. But for the Red Sox, it was between Chapman and Craig Kimbrell. So they, you know what direction they went.
Yeah.
Investigation's still ongoing. And finally, Jake Butt, the Michigan tight end. That is like the perfect name.
He's a great
for a tight end.
He's the next Gronk. He is fantastic.
Really? The next Gronk.
I think he's
a lot to live up to.
Best college tight end maybe since Kellen Winslow. I mean, he is fantastic.
He was projected to go first or second for tight ends in the NFL draft, but he just announced that he is going to return to Michigan for his final season of eligibility.
Good for him. Good for him. Good for Harbaugh. All right, Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
Great. Another steaming load of good news.
The Herd Lie News.
If you're wondering, guys, if your shirt's too long to wear untucked, probably is. Go to untuckit.com. Solve the prob. Right length means the right look. Untuckit.com. Use the code PERFECT for 15% off to improve your wardrobe today. Almost 15 years in the league. Jim Jackson, baby, in studio. Fox Sports 1 NBA analyst, my guy. It is great to see you. I've been going crazy for a half hour now. Nobody buys into me.
Well, listen, before we start, I gotta get on Christine about something.
Oh, geez.
Yesterday, you were talking about your mom and something happened with Wendy's.
Yeah.
Okay, and you didn't go all the way and finish it.
Oh, okay. But Colin wouldn't let me. That's why.
Well, I'm glad he didn't. But I lived in Columbus. Dave Thomas is from the Columbus area. That's where Wendy's, the corporate office is at. So I was waiting to hear what you were going to say about. Yeah.
Do you want to know?
Oh, well, you can tell me after since.
I don't want to hurt I don't know if they're a sponsor, but I don't want Wendy's sabotaging.
I want to hear what happened. I have,
Actually, I was in a sorority in college, and one of my sorority sisters, she was Wendy's niece, and so she told me that they had great health practices, but according to my mom, in this one franchise, there was a small problem.
All right. After the show.
I
thought you were going to call me out because I tried to get you to tell some stories last time you were here, and you backed off.
No, I could tell some.
Oh, you're going to.
What's up?
Well, that in a bit.
Yeah.
So let me
get to that.
Let me start with this. And I don't want to be one of these old farts like I love the NBA in the 70s and 80s because I thought the Knicks and Pacers was a free throw shooting contest. I didn't think the games were artistic. But I did like Jim Jackson and Michael Jordan pushing around a little bit, a little physical, don't share the same agent, little animosity. I liked that league. The 3-point shot to me, I'm numb to it now.
Well, here's the problem. A lot of guys are friends. Close friends.
The league.
The league is. So you grew up playing AAU. You know each other. You've battled, but it's really not a battle anymore. because of what's going on. And you don't have the rivalry, and you don't have the physical contact. And again, I think it's helped grow the game from an international perspective because more like Europe. People can relate to it. The smaller guy has a chance to be successful.
Yes.
So you promote that part of it. But of course, I mean, for us older guys, we look at it and say, well, they're not as physical. The game is different.
They're not.
But you know what, Colin? The thing is, the game evolved, and they talked about the way we play when I came in the league, that it was a different game, the fundamentals or whatever it is. So every generation always look back at theirs and say, well, the game wasn't as good as when I played. You know?
Do your eyes, I like the inside-out game. I like the mid-range jumper. Michael Jordan's 10 best plays, he's jamming on guys. He's switching hands. Do you like watching a 3-ball shooting contest?
I like watching skilled players, and I like watching skilled teams. Now, keep in mind, even in the 90s, there's some teams that, and I was on one of them with the Mavericks, we were just flat out terrible, okay? But you had your elite teams that just knew how to play. Now, that's far and few in between now in regards to, you look at San Antonio, Golden State from a fundamental perspective, that really know how to play. Cleveland, because they're not overly athletic and they don't wow you, but they kind of get things done. You don't have it across the board. So when the Golden State comes along, they capture the imagination of a lot of people who, may be just novice NBA fans.
Yeah, casual fans now are intrigued.
Yeah.
When Adam Silver, the commissioner, inherited perhaps a team that'll go 80-2 and perhaps a team that'll go 2-80. When you look at the Sixers, if you ran the league, I could make an argument that 80-2 and 2-80 are both good for the league. They're sideshows. It's freakishly bad. What do you do to change the Sixers? I mean, they've drafted players.
Right. Well, here's the issue. Remember times back when the big question was, should Donald Sterling sell the Clippers?
Yes.
Because revenue sharing was there. All he did was collected the money. He never improved the arena when they were at the old stadium downtown. He never would pay players. And the big issue was, should owners force a commissioner to have Sterling sell? And you couldn't do it because you set a precedent. Here's the same thing with Philadelphia, is that because it's in such a large market with revenue sharing, that it brings the revenue sharing down within the other ownership. So when the Sixers go on the road, nobody wants to buy those games. This is a large market team. So I think what the owners looked at was like, listen, you're dragging down the total pie. It's a trickle-down effect. We got to do something about this. This is bigger than just the Philadelphia 76ers.
It's interesting. We got into this discussion. It used to be, if you got the first pick in the draft, you got a 22-year-old or a Tim Duncan. Now you get a 19-year-old who's skinny and is probably D'Angelo Russell 2-3 years from his prime. Tim Duncan was ready to go.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was ready to go. If like, I look at the Lakers, and I've been told by somebody I trust, 2 people, that they like Randall a lot.
I would too.
But they'll move the rest of them tomorrow if they could get really high-end players. What would you do? What is if you could get a Bradley Beal, who's not a star but would make you better, or would you roll the dice and say, I'm Russell, I'm Clarkson, I'm Randall, I like this unit? What would you do?
See, the thing I love about the Lakers is this. I love Jordan Clarkson. I love D'Angelo Russell just because I'm an Ohio State guy and I watched him play. The problem is because of Kobe. And that's not anything against Kobe. It's his presence that is still there, that's hovering over the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not going to make a move, and you're not really going to see how good these young players can be because he's so dominant on the court with his personality. Okay. And for me, look, the Lakers are not going to win this year. So why not allow your young players to figure it out?
That seems
to go through the mistakes and figure it out, because you got to realize and you got to understand, can these young men play? And the only way you kind of grow, especially from a point guard perspective, is to be able to kind of get your head knocked down a little bit. Now, in Russell's issue is he loves to handle the basketball. But if Kobe's on the court, you're going to defer to him a lot.
Yeah, we've made this argument that we think Kobe, it's not a cute sideshow. It is literally stunting the growth.
It is.
Michael Jordan's last year, you could make an argument on many nights he was still the Wizards' best player. Like his game was fall away.
But you know what Michael did differently than Kobe?
What?
He didn't try to beat he didn't try to be Mike of 10 years ago. He got to the free throw line, mid post, low post, did his moves, maybe a little transition every now and then, but he wasn't trying to beat guys off pick and roll. He wasn't trying to beat guys off the dribble. He was smart in how he attacked. Remember, I think he averaged about 22 points that year. He had a 50-point game.
I saw him play in Portland. He was the best player on the floor,
right?
And they had good players.
But he honed his game where he could be efficient, without ineffective, without trying to be overly athletic. And Kobe is still trying to be Kobe of old. And your body just is not going to respond at 37 years old like it did when you were, 29, 30.
Do you, when you look at LeBron, they're not nearly as good as we thought.
Yeah.
Do you think, LeBron's whole thing is it's got to be business and we're not taking it seriously? He's the best player in the game. In Miami, Bosh and Wade took turns being hurt. Yeah. Kyrie, Irving, Love. I kind of sense, I listen to his quotes, and there's part of LeBron that it's this unspoken,
here we go,
I have to carry the league again. Like the league, my owner, my franchise. When I think of Magic history, I don't think of injured teammates.
Yeah.
I will go down thinking LeBron, nobody was ever healthy for him.
Except for when he was his first stint in Cleveland. Now, Ilgauskas had some issues, but for the most part, yeah, you're right. And Miami was like that. In his interview last night after the game,
yes,
he said, if I got to rebound, play defense, whatever it is, I got to do it. Now, here's the thing, too, with LeBron. If you look at his minutes are up 37 minutes a game. And they talked about coming into the season that he wanted to play less.
Exactly.
He's second behind James Harden.
I know.
And it's wearing him down, I think, more mentally, Colin, that he doesn't have his ace in the hole on the court.
That's what I'm saying. I'm listening to his quote, and I'm hearing, here I go again.
Look at his body language when he's doing the interview, because he's so matter-of-fact in what he's saying. And he's telling you.
So you're seeing it, too.
Oh, he's telling you without really telling you what's going on.
Here we go again.
Yeah,
I'm carrying the team.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a little bitterness. I am.
Well, I would get frustrated. If you're gearing toward. The question was asked yesterday for me was, you think LeBron feels a little differently because the league is kind of promoting Steph Curry as maybe the best player? I said, no. His whole goal, look, he just signed a lifetime deal with Nike. Really? You think he's worried about that? His whole goal is to win a championship in Cleveland.
That's his legacy now.
That's his legacy. Forget all the other stuff.
Hey, let me ask you, Jim Jackson joining us 14 years in the league. We got into this discussion. I was listening to sports radio yesterday, and I forget, it was on satellite, so I forget who it was. I apologize. And it was a couple young guys, and they were kind of arguing back and forth, and it was pretty compelling. They were talking about, listen, Kobe's not a top 10 player. He's a top 10 talent.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Celebrate the holidays with cheer and basement bargain prices and one-stop package in the Sunrise Market Center Sunny Daisy, the brand new one-stop package beverage store on Old Dayton Pike, just north of the Thrasher Light, with the best prices in town. Enjoy the lowest prices on beer, wine, liquor, and soft drinks. Hey, mention you heard this ad on Hot News Talk Radio and get 5% off your purchase. That's right. Mention you heard this on the radio and you'll get 5% off. The brand new one-stop package beverage store in Sunny Daisy. Their prices are always the lowest prices in town. The lowest prices you'll find in the finest of adult beverages. The brand new one-stop package in South Sunny Daisy at the Sunrise Market, featuring great prices on gas, bread, and milk. The Sunrise Market just across from Charlie's in Sunny Daisy. And remember, always drink responsibly.
Get 10% off every case of wine.
We live in uncertain times. From extreme weather and natural disasters to civil unrest, don't panic. Be prepared. With protective gear and medical supplies, tactical and camping equipment, long-term food storage and water purification, ammunition and knives, alternative power solutions and lighting, P5 Preparedness has the products and training classes to help you through life's catastrophic events. P5 Preparedness at East Brainerd and Panorama Drive.
If you have an event coming up for the holidays, or maybe it is your daughter's wedding, or maybe just a church or office party, then you need to select Choo Choo Barbecue. That's correct. Choo Choo Barbecue. Whether you like pork, chicken, or beef. Oh, yes. Choo Choo Barbecue with their savory rub flavor. Oh, my goodness. It's making me hungry right now. You add in their delicious smoked aroma, and you have set the table for a perfect meal with Choo Choo Barbecue. That's right. Choo Choo Barbecue. Why don't you give them a call right now? 423-843-9554. That's 843-9554. Call 423-843-9554. Choo Choo Barbecue. You know where it's located, off of Hickson Pike, right there at the Valley Brook area. Don't kid yourself. Your stomach is already on the way.
You want more business. You want to increase your bottom line. You want to spend less on advertising, imaging your business, and general expenses. You need Trade Bank. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Trade Bank. Call now to get access to nearly 400 local businesses. Trade Bank. Call 877-2202. 877-2202. Trade Bank. You want to increase your cash flow, your competitive edge, attract new customers, and build a loyal customer base. You need Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call right now. 877-2202. When you join Trade Bank, you'll get the benefit of free advertising in our monthly magazine, tradebank.com, emails, and mailouts. Join Trade Bank now and receive your Trade Bank debit card with trade credits to spend any way you want with our wide variety of Trade Bank partners. For almost 30 years, Trade Bank has been your voice for small business, a member of the American Bankers Association, and in good standing with you. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call now for a free consultation. 877-2202. That's 877-2202. Trade Bank of Chattanooga.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, and myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Treated her to the very best this Christmas? Well, you can, and you don't even have to go out of your way. We're talking about the world's softest pajamas, available exclusively at pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com. Created by a team of dedicated pajama experts, the world's softest pajamas are lighter than a cloud, softer than a bunny, like cashmere, only better. Talk about dreamy. She'll love the way the world's softest pajamas feel. You'll love the way they caress every curve. More than a gift, they're a feeling, an invitation to linger a little longer. The world's softest pajamas are available only at pajamagram.com. Visit today and give her a gift that keeps on giving to both of you. You don't even have to wrap. Every pajamagram includes free gift packaging. Christmas delivery guaranteed. Visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
Okay, here we go, people.
This is The Herd.
Where are you again?
With Colin Cowherd.
We all know confidence is a very tenuous thing. In athletics, they can lose confidence, sound like a different person just based on one loss. This is Ronda Rousey before she fought Holly Holm.
You're going to get it on Sunday. You're not the first person that thought that you had the perfect plan to beat me. It's not the first time your camp thought that they had a perfect plan to beat me.
Here's her quotes after losing. I'm really, really sad. It might be 3 to 6 months before I can eat an apple, let alone take an impact. Maybe I'll never beat her before my prime, before my body is done. But blank, maybe I can. Okay? When the bully gets hit back, the bully changes.
Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
What?
Forget the hike to the post office with your express mail or priority mail packages, finding a parking space, and then waiting in line. Now there's a new free online service from the U.S. Postal Service called Carrier Pickup. Francia Smith, Vice President and Consumer Advocate of the U.S. Postal Service, explains.
Carrier Pickup means just that. Your letter carrier will pick up your domestic express mail or priority mail items at your home or office at no extra charge. Just visit us at USPS.com and request a pickup on the next scheduled mail delivery day. It's perfect to help customers manage their busy lives.
What else does it offer?
While you're online, you can also use our click and ship service to print mailing labels and add delivery confirmation service so you can keep track of your package and know when it's delivered. Customers can even create and store mailing lists, purchase postage, and order mailing supplies, all from the comfort of their own home. More convenience, easier access, that's what Carrier Pickup and the online services from the Postal Service are all about.
For more information on Carrier Pickup, visit USPS.com/pickup.
Want to fight childhood asthma? Then fight it with a scrub brush and a hot soapy towel. Even in the neatest and tidiest homes, if there's so much as a crumb to eat or a drop to drink, household pests like bugs and mice will do all that they can to get it. creepy crawlies like bugs and mice are unpleasant enough as it is, but they're more than just a nuisance for kids with asthma because they can actually trigger an asthma attack. So give them a whole lot of nothing. Sweep up crumbs, wipe down tables, scrub dishes before they pile up in the sink, and store leftovers in plastic bags or bowls. Don't leave them so much as one tidbit or nibble, and you can stop a childhood asthma attack before it starts. Discover other simple ways to prevent an asthma attack. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS or visit noattacks.org, because no child should feel like a fish out of water. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. EPA, the Ad Council, and this station.
Wash off the blackboard. Put away the books. Take down the posters. Put away the gym balls. Empty out our desks. Scrape our names off the lockers. Pull our drawings off the walls. Put it all in the garbage. Throw it away. Throw it all away.
AIDS has killed more children worldwide than there are in all the grade schools in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, Atlanta, and Miami combined. The time to do something is now. The place is apathyisLethal.org. AIDS is preventable. Apathy is lethal. ApathyisLethal.org.
A public service announcement brought to you by the United Nations Foundation and the Ad Council.
We're all over your social media.
Have you used Twitter yet?
You can find us on Twitter.
I'll tell you what's not quiet is our Twitter account.
At Fox Sports Radio.
Facebook.
And you can like us on Facebook.
I need you to make it as easy as possible for me.
Just search Fox Sports Radio.
In your face.
Right in your face. Look how easy this is.
Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter at Fox Sports Radio. At Fox Sports Radio.
Facebook me.
Or on Facebook at Fox Sports Radio. What's good? Good. Your social media giant is right here. Enjoying the show?
Just showing radio.
Or maybe not, jackass. Good or bad, we want to hear from you.
Awesome!
On Twitter at Colin Cowherd or by phone 877-757-HERD. Now back to the Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I mean, obviously, some people are, more popular than other people in the public sphere. And like I was saying, the Warriors are just wildly popular because they're winning. But even when the Miami Heat were winning, they weren't necessarily popular to everybody. But the Warriors, everybody likes them. If you say anything anti-Warriors, you hate Santa. They're obviously great. The players individually are very, very likable. But I'm not a big fan of just three-ball shooting contests. I was thinking about, I'll get it back to football in the next hour. And now, I was thinking about this. Is that the mark of a great business, one of the marks is consistency. I mean, if you go to Starbucks in LA or you go to Starbucks in Cleveland or you go to Starbucks in West Palm Beach or Hartford, it's the same coffee. Overwhelmingly. I remember years ago going to, I won't criticize it, a chain restaurant, a fast food restaurant, and I was going golfing and I just was hungry. So I went to get a breakfast at one of these fast food chains and it was not McDonald's. McDonald's breakfast is the same every time. And that's a mark of a good business. Doesn't matter if you're in Ohio or you're in Texas, a McDonald's English muffin's pretty good, right? And so I went to this other fast food chain that was experimenting with breakfast or just started breakfast, and they just butchered it. They had the wrong bun with the sausage. And I'm like, God, they just don't know what they're doing. They just tried to rush this to the market. They don't know what they're doing. Is one of the great marks of business is consistency. And I would argue when I lived in New England for a decade, the one thing about Belichick in New England that I thought was fascinating is you got the same performance, win or loss. It didn't matter. Win or lose, it was the same team every week. Now, sometimes they'd have Gronk's hurt, Edelman's hurt. It's obviously you lose star players, you're not as effective. But if you watch New England, they're the same team every snap. They really are. They're highly functional, very efficient. They have a game plan. They play with a purpose. That, to me, is the mark of great consistency. I would say in college football. And then when you watch bad teams in the NFL, like Tennessee and San Diego and the Raiders through the years and the Buffalo and this year's New York Giants, you don't even know half to half what you're getting. I mean, you really don't. The efficiency and the consistency drops series to series. It never does with New England. And I would say Alabama, of all the college football teams, even more so than Ohio State, Alabama gives you the same game 13 times a year. Doesn't mean they win all of them, but they pretty much give you great defense. We can run the football 13 times a year. But it's really funny. You look around, and if I said to you, what were the 3 most consistent looking football teams in the last 5 or 6 years? I'd say New England, Alabama. You know who I'd say would be number 3 is Michigan State. And nobody ever mentions Mark D'Antonio in the names of great coaches. Every time I watch Michigan State, even the Nebraska loss, it's the same team. They run the football. They play really good defense. And here's where they're better than Nick Saban and Bama. Their special teams are generally top-notch. Alabama's special teams, they're kicking a 40-yard field goal. You're just hoping it's not blocked. I mean, Alabama's special teams have been wildly erratic. But, I mean, you look at Michigan State since Mark D'Antoni took it over in like 2010, 11-11, 13-11, 12 wins. First, tied for second, first, 4 bowl wins since 2007, 2008, 8 games in bowls over that span, second most in college football. It's just funny. Is he not glib enough? Is he not known enough? He's got 65 wins and 3 titles in 6 years. He's 32-8 in the Big Ten. They got 23 guys in the NFL. They've got 2 NFL starting quarterbacks. They have the best running back, arguably, Le'Veon Bell, in the NFL. Nobody mentions Mark D'Antonio among the elite coaches. Hell, he's not even considered the best coach in his own state. Harbaugh gets all the love. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable. And here's what's amazing. One of the reasons I predicted before this year, I was on a Michigan-Utah played on Fox Sports, and so they asked me to go to Utah and be part of the broadcast. And one of the questions at the end of the show was, will Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines be a top 10 team within 3 years? And I said, well, they're going to be really good, and they may win the Big Ten. They're going to be terrific, but who's leaving the Big Ten, number one? Number two, who's leaving the top 10? Is Clemson leaving it? Is Florida State leaving it? Is Notre Dame leaving it? Is Alabama leaving it? Is Oklahoma leaving it? Is Ohio State leaving? Who's leaving? Is TCU leaving it? That was my first thing. Number two, Big Ten, right now, better than it's been in a decade. But number 3, Michigan's top 2 rivals are coached by Urban Meyer and Mark D'Antonio. You think you're going to beat them both in most years? I don't. His 2 big rivals have arguably 2 of the top 3 coaches in college football. Nobody mentions this guy. If consistency is the mark of a great business, outside of Alabama, who's more consistent? Looks the same on TV more than Michigan State last 5 years. That guy can flat coach. The Herd hierarchy, next hour, 1 down, 2 to go. It's the Herd.
America was built by
You
people
give
with
us
a few
12 minutes
dollars
and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
WSDT Sunny Daisy.
That's right. If your dream is to start or
CBS News. I'm Steve Kathan. FBI Director James Comey says the couple who killed 14 people a week ago in San Bernardino was radicalized earlier than first believed. He tells the Senate committee the 2 had discussed jihad as early as 2013, a year before they were married.
Is there any evidence that this marriage was arranged by a terrorist organization or terrorist operative, or was it just a meeting on the internet?
I don't know the answer to that yet.
And Comey says it's too soon to say if cracks in the visa system allowed Tashfeen Malik to enter the country last year from Saudi Arabia. He didn't mention Donald Trump by name or his call to ban Muslims from entering the U.S., but President Obama seemed to be sending a clear message at a Washington ceremony to mark the 150th anniversary of the end of slavery.
To remember that our freedom is bound up with the freedom of others, regardless of what they look like or where they come from or what their last name is or what faith they practice.
Well, now to Baltimore, where the officer on trial in the Freddie Gray case is on the stand in his own defense. CBS's Steve Dorsey is covering.
Officer William Porter described himself as a diligent and passionate police officer. He also said he had limited medical training and didn't know if 25-year-old Freddie Gray was actually hurt when Porter checked on him in the back of a police van when Gray asked for help. Porter admits not seatbelting Gray in, but said it wasn't usually done.
Arguments at the U.S. Supreme Court today on affirmative action and college admissions. CBS's Barry Bagnano joins us live.
Steve, the court appears sharply divided in this important case, with Justice Samuel Alito questioning the need for the University of Texas to consider race in admissions, and Chief Justice John Roberts asking how the school actually knows when its diversity goals are achieved. How long will it go on, he wondered. Liberal Sonia Sotomayor suggested it's proper for race to be considered as one factor in admissions decisions. Potential swing vote Anthony Kennedy raised the possibility the whole case would be sent back to a lower court, Steve.
Well, the Senate has passed an education reform bill, sending it on to President Obama. The nation's largest teachers union, the NAA, says it marks the end of the No Child Left Behind policy. At least one death is now blamed on the stormy weather and flooding in the Pacific Northwest. Boston College says now 120 students have been sickened by an apparent norovirus. Most of them ate at a Chipotle restaurant. The Hollywood Reporter says the parties involved in a big legal fight over the English language's most popular song, Happy Birthday to You, have reached a settlement.
Happy birthday to you.
It comes 3 months after a federal judge ruled that song is in the public domain. Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 113 points, and the NASDAQ is down 80. This is CBS News.
Not available in California, Louisiana, and Virginia.
Listeners, do you have startup capital and want to invest in a business with incredible profit potential? Fresh Healthy Vending, the #1 healthy vending franchise in North America, is growing fast, and we're looking for people right here in the local area to become Fresh Healthy Vending franchise owners and help our business continue to boom. If this sounds like you, we'll send you a free owner information kit. As an added bonus to new franchise owners, we'll also pay half the franchise fees. Just go to readyforfresh.com and enter code 6565. That's readyforfresh.com, code 6565.
You don't have to be a retail giant or government agency to be the victim of a costly data breach. If you run a website and collect customer data, your small to mid-sized business is just as likely to be targeted by hackers. The Barracuda Web Application Firewall provides cost-effective instant security against automated and targeted attacks, making this WAF a must-have for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda Web App Firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/WAF.
French authorities have identified the last of the Paris attackers, one of the 3 gunmen killed at the concert hall.
He's been named as Fouad Mohamed Agad, a 23-year-old man from Strasbourg in eastern France. 2 years ago, he went to Syria with his older brother Karim and 8 other radicalized young men from the same neighborhood. His brother's lawyer told French TV police were tipped off when Fouad's mother received a text message from his widow in Syria telling her he'd been killed on November 13th. Elaine Cobb, CBS News, Paris.
Santa is going to need a bigger sled when he goes to Fayetteville, North Carolina. This weekend, what's called the world's largest Christmas stocking is going to be unveiled, 1,600 pounds and 77 square feet. Crafted by knitters in all 50 states, Canada, and Ireland. A land surveying company had to handle the measurements. It's part of a fundraiser for military families. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance?
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect mostly cloudy skies out there through the afternoon. Can't rule out a late day sprinkle, but not much. Highs upper 50s. Tonight, clouds hanging around, not as cool, lows mid 40s. For Thursday, becoming partly sunny, mild still, 62 to 65, mid and upper 60s Friday. This forecast is brought to you by American Express, making it easy and more convenient for you during this shopping season. To apply and to get more information, their website, AmericanExpress.com. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Cole.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd, right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
This is AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. You're listening to Clutch with Keon Rose on another day here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.